What's up guys, welcome back to a new video on the Alien Algo channel. The weekend is usually shit PA and low volatility, or just a simple consolidation or a continuation in the already occurring trend. But it usually is fake moves, hence why I don't like to update on the weekend. So now that it's Monday, let's get right into it. So let's start with Bitcoin on the daily chart. As we can see, we've previously had this liquidity sweep right there, but we were unable to reclaim the level, which was quite clear on the 1 hour. So we have seen the sweep right here, no reclaim on that previous level, and we just continue down. Later on to June the 1st, we managed to break this level, retest it, and break above it. We stayed above it for a short while. But a little bit later, we've gotten a liquidity sweep on the upside, where we made this dump. Today on the New York Open, we simply took out these lows and we seem to be pumping from this. I expect this to be your current consolidation. I will try to make this video a bit earlier and a bit shorter, so you guys still have the opportunity to play the levels given by the chart. So, without more being said, this is currently the two levels I'm watching for Bitcoin. So, as you guys know, I am way more bullish on ETH. So, without more having said, let's get straight into ETH, which is right here. As you already can see, the relative strength, right here again. Here we simply see this move towards the downside, while ETH is still consolidating within that range. What we've currently built is the thing I expected, of course, is this sweep right here. We wanted to see a reclaim of that 0.5 level, which we were unable to do. And usually when you break those 0.5 levels, like right here, you break it, you go towards the range highs. You break it again, you go towards the range lows. So, with this, we simply had this big support zone right here, this one, where you have multiple taps into it. And this is currently where we are building a lower time frame range, which I, of course, have longed some right here. I added to my position right here. And when Bitcoin swept those lows for New York Open, I added to my positions, since I still expect ETH to outperform on at least this month, at minimum. So for now, we simply have to watch this, because this is crucial to break. Also, if we look on the weekly, zoom in a little bit better, right here. Simply see this is currently the candle that we want to get above. So we want to see it do something like this and continue and reclaim that 0.5 level again. So on the daily, you as well see major buying pressure from these lows, as you can see from the daily wicks. So we simply need to break this level. And since ETH currently looks decent, I want to look a little more into relative strength, as we can see from ETH BTC right here. We were watching this 0.5 level because we wanted it to hold, and otherwise we expected alts to bleed a little bit more. As you can see, we broke below it, retested it, and we went lower. Currently, we are retesting the 0.5 level again. So we simply see ETH is really showing relative strength against Bitcoin. Now I want to get into a couple alts that I find interesting for possible setups, and I want you to keep an eye on these for the intermediate time, so probably at least towards the highs for all these pairs. So why do I find these interesting? Simply they are showing strength. I only picked decently strong tokens besides these two, Ondo and Tia. They are not really showing major strength, but I just find them cheap since they are around range lows. So for Pendle, it's a RWA coin, which is quite strong as you can see, since it pretty much held up this major range, while all other alts are just dying or even made lower lows. So Pendle is really one to keep our eyes on, with expectation of going towards those range highs. For Ondo, it's a little bit less strong, but it's still showing strength since this really hasn't made lower lows. It's still higher lows. I expect it on the long term before the top happens somewhere around here. Maybe we reject here and we just consolidate before it gets a new cycle. I'm majorly bullish on Ondo for the long run, but this also provides decent setups on the lower time frames, with us getting back into the zone. If we get above, we should be looking at least at this area, which if we look at it from a risk to reward ratio, that's 17% up with a little less than 6% downside, which is a pretty decent trade. So let's get on to the next one, which is TIA. This simply is at weekly demand, where we started this major move towards the upside from, and we previously had this little touch, giving us a second bit of a rally, and we see buying pressure previously coming in from this level. So the two current levels to watch simply are these. We swept this low, but we would like to see a reclaim of this to continue. We look at the 4 hour, we see it's clearly consolidating in between these levels. So I had a little break trade from this point where I traded it towards this level. I didn't see any strength in terms of continuation, so I closed it, and now I am more looking to play it with momentum when it reclaims this level. This level then, I mean. So that is it for TIA, and let's get straight onto Hype, which you guys should know. It's just the casino, and the casino always wins. So in terms of Hype, it's quite simple and quite clear. We've had this zone right here, and we swept these lows, which we seem to be holding right now. So for Hype, I also expect it to run back towards these highs, because I simply identify this as the range highs, where this needs to be a little lower, right there, with this being the current high. So it's simply below the 0.5 level. If I get it from the top of my head, should be around here. So we simply see also this rejection here. When we broke below it, we went towards the range lows. So this simply is at the range lows right now. Another one that is quite strong is Virtual. As we've seen, shown crazy momentum towards the upside. I find this to be the interesting level right here. As the major support, we had a small deviation right below it, where we got that break above, I mean, and retested back towards those highs. We also have a small bounce here, and as we can see, on the weekend it didn't make a lower low. Even it made a higher low based upon this right here. Another one I would like to show, this one is really depending on ETH though. Simply Banana, the people that follow me on Twitter know me for this one. Simply, this is the key trend line right there, and this range is simply formed from these little points, where it is still at the range lows, which I find a decent buying opportunity. But for this to break up, we simply need strength from ETH. So if ETH manages to run and break those highs, I expect banana to run way harder. So let's have a short look at the general market, where we chart the S&P. We are still in between these levels, with this of course being the key level to flip for now, before we can look at these highs. This simply being the support right now. I'll draw it in to visualize it right there. And when you look to the left side as well, we simply see how this has been respected in the past already. So this should be the key zone for the general markets. So let's have a quick look at what BTC is doing right now. Still need to flip this level. For ETH, it's the same. We simply need to break above this before we can talk about going back towards those highs. So with all more having said, guys, the 0.5 level on ETH BTC also very important, and that should be it. So I will try to upload this as quick as possible. So guys, have a nice day and keep trading.